The Venom movies are okay. They're not great, but they can be enjoyable movies. I feel like the biggest thing holding these movies back is the PG-13 rating, and it's rather disappointing with Carnage in the Venom sequel. So if we take a look at the scene where Carnage is first revealed, we get good old Cletus Cassidy with a much better wig this time.
Enjoy the show!
I mean, it's still not great, but it's a lot better than what it was in the post-credit scene in Venom.
There's gonna be carnage.
So we have Cletus on death row and he's about to be put to sleep for a very long time. But luckily for him, he had a quick snack before this procedure and that ends up saving his life in this scene.
Something wicked!
Quite a bit different to his origin in the comics, because in the comics Eddie Brock and Cletus Cassidy share a jail cell and the Venom symbiote comes and saves Eddie and breaks him out of prison, but a small piece is left behind and that piece attaches to Cletus, therefore giving birth to Carnage. However, I do really like the setup of this scene where they showcase how Carnage is being born, especially this moment right here where everyone's waiting for the big reveal. Like, we all know what's coming and it's still pretty epic. One thing I really got to give this movie credit for is that they absolutely nailed the look of Carnage. He looks exactly how I would have pictured him in live action. I got to give props to Sony though. That roar that they created for Carnage is just so good. So then we move on to the whole prison break scene where he attacks all the guards, and this is where that PG-13 rating really starts to hold this movie back, because from the name Carnage you'd expect him to cause a lot of carnage, but a lot of the deaths and kills are just really bad. Like, they're not interesting or violent, they're just okay. I mean, we see Carnage here stabbing guys through the chest and somehow they don't bleed and throws them against the wall, which is not something I'd expect Carnage to do. Like, you'd expect him to use that massive mouth of his and just rip open their insides, rip their head off, you know, use his spikes to like slice them to pieces. But Sony didn't want to do that because they wanted to keep this PG. It's like they don't know how successful R-rated movies can be, you know, with examples as Deadpool 1 and 2, Logan, The Boys, like so many superhero genres that are violent and gory, and that's what makes it entertaining and realistic. Even this moment right here where he just, you know, French kisses a guard, like, what is that? Did that kill him? Like, it was just weird. Like, there are so many creative things he could have done with all these abilities, but we are just restricted by the rating of this movie, so we can't enjoy this movie for what it could have been. That's why I was very skeptical when they brought in Carnage, and rightfully so. And then we have this bizarre sequence where he does like the Tasmanian devil and creates a tornado. So I'm not too familiar with the comics, so I'm not sure if this is something he can do, but I just found it very strange. So then we have Carnage pull the guard into the tornado, and what we would expect to be an epic kill where we see him eat the guard.
Any last words, Warden? Don't! Please!
But it happens off screen, so we don't get to see that. And then we end off the scene with Carnage breaking out and Cletus singing along his merry way.
And Warden, you tasted just like ham.
So when we look at this scene as a whole, like, I'm pretty sure this is the most that we could have expected from a PG-13 movie, which, you know, is okay, but it was really cool to finally see Carnage on the big screen. Although I would have preferred if they hadn't killed him off, but I'm sure we'll see a version of him again in the future. Make sure to subscribe and I'll see you guys in the next one.